Okay, AP Chapter 20, Lecture 3, Suppression and Revolt in Russia. Pay attention to this one because this will be very important going into the Russian Revolution. I'm just foreshadowing what's coming. There's unrest in the army, and if you're in the army, you are in it, especially in the officer corps, you're part of the nobility. Southern society led by Pastel called for the end of serfdom, a representative government, and independence for Poland. In 1861 is when the serfs were freed. Just to give you an idea of the idea of serfdom in Russia. The Northern Society favored constitutional monarchy at the end of serfdom. The Decembrist revolt, when Nicholas becomes Tsar after Alexander I, some army officers refuse to swear allegiance to him. The revolt is put down violently. So you're seeing challenges to the conservative order. Rule of Nicholas I, very little reform, still had serfdom and the presence of a secret police. So all those are conservative ideas. Official nationality, Russian Orthodox Church provides the basis for morality, education, and intellectual life, and unrestrained power of the Tsar. So again, reinforce the idea of conservatism. The Polish uprising, Poland's independence movement in 1832, repressed by Nicholas I, who issues organic statute declaring Poland an integral part of the Russian Empire. Again, liberal versus conservative. There's a picture of it, of the Decembrist movement. More revolution in France. Charles X paid sums of money to aristocrats who had lost land in the revolution. He restored the rule of the primogeniture. Sacrilege is punished by death, so this is an increasing power of the church. These are all conservative. Put in ultra-royalist cabinet in 1829 in response to liberals. In response to military victories in North Africa, Charles X issues 4 ordinances. Restricted freedom of the press. Notice different countries, same repressions. This happened in England as well. Freedom of speech is gone. Dissolved liberal chamber of deputies. Limited franchise to the wealthiest members. Aristocracy, called for new elections. The Revolution of 1830, Charles abdicates the throne, ending the Bourbon dynasty and putting a more liberal government in charge. And there's a picture. Louis Philippe, the monarchy under Louis Philippe was politically liberal, so you had a change from conservative to liberal. And liberal, again, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press. But he was socially conservative, had little regard for the lower classes, and revolts of working class was put down violently. So he was on the wealthy side, even though he gave some liberal attention, and expanded territories in North Africa. The independence of Belgium. Belgium becomes independent from Holland in 1830. British make sure Belgium's independence is accepted as long as the new nation remains neutral in European affairs. And you'll see this relationship becoming really important as World War I starts, because as soon as Belgium is invaded, England feels that that's their reason to go into World War I. And these are all the places where people, the liberals, were revolting against the conservative order. And reform in Britain, now we move back to England again. Lord Liverpool, although conservative, allows some reform such as greater economic freedom and permission for there to be labor organizations. The Catholic Emancipation Act allowed for the Catholics to be in Parliament, and it was passed to keep order in Ireland. Now the key one here is the Great Reform Bill, which expanded the size of England's electorate but did not eliminate property qualifications for voting or grant suffrage for women. What it did is it gained male property owners the right to vote. And there's a picture of the speeches made in support of it. And that is the end of this lecture.